Hey Steelers Nation, we're back with an exclusive video packed with the latest updates on our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll never miss any exclusive updates or exciting Steelers news. The rumor that has been making the rounds in football circles is one that almost no one saw coming, and yet it is spreading like wildfire. The Pittsburgh Steelers have supposedly pulled off one of the most shocking moves of the decade by bringing in TYREEK Hill to wear the black and gold. Imagine the uproar, the debates, the stunned reactions across sports talk shows, as one of the fastest and most explosive receivers in NFL history suddenly finds himself paired with one of the league's most storied franchises. Fans who were once debating offensive line needs, or whether Kenny Pickett was truly the long-term answer, are now buzzing about the idea of Hill streaking downfield at Heinz Field, or what we now call Acrisure Stadium, with defenses left gasping for air as they try to keep up. The whispers started small, with murmurs from insiders claiming talks are serious, and then snowballed as people noticed how cryptic social media posts from players hinted at something massive. Could it be possible? Could the Steelers, known for their tradition and old-school style, suddenly reinvent themselves as the home of the NFL's fastest man? If you take a closer look at what this would mean strategically, the implications are nothing short of absurd. The Steelers have been a team built around defense, grit, and controlled offensive schemes, but with TYREEK Hill in the mix, everything changes. Picture defenses lining up against an offense where George Pickens already commands respect on the outside. Deontay Johnson creates separation with sharp routes. And suddenly Hill is a vertical nightmare that forces safeties to play deeper than they'd like. Add Najee Harris pounding the ball on the ground, and you've got an attack that stretches the field in every direction. Critics may argue that Pittsburgh doesn't have the quarterback arm strength or scheme to maximize Hill. But even skeptics admit that simply having him on the field alters the geometry of the game. Every defender has to account for his speed, every coordinator must redraw their game plan, and every rival fan base is left scratching their heads wondering how such a deal even came to be. The buzz surrounding this rumor isn't just about football tactics, it's about identity. The Steelers are not usually the type of franchise that chases star power through splashy moves. They're the team of the terrible towel, of blue-collar identity, of defenses that hit hard and offenses that went ugly. So the thought of TYREEK Hill, a player synonymous with highlight reel touchdowns, one-play scoring drives, and track star speed, becoming the face of Pittsburgh's offense is shaking the very foundation of what fans thought they knew about the organization. Some supporters are already celebrating, saying this shows Pittsburgh is finally modernizing, embracing the era of explosive offenses. Others are skeptical, calling it a distraction from their real needs, such as shoring up the offensive line or finding long-term quarterback consistency. But whether you love it or hate it, you can't deny that the possibility of Hill donning the black and gold is the kind of storyline that dominates sports talk and fuels endless debate across bars, living rooms, and social media feeds. On top of all the stylistic conversations, think about the AFC North as a whole. This is already one of the most competitive divisions in football, with Joe Burrow leading Cincinnati's high-octane offense, Lamar Jackson bringing his dual-threat brilliance to Baltimore, and Deshaun Watson in Cleveland trying to reestablish himself. Into that mix, drop TYREEK Hill with the Steelers, and suddenly the dynamic shifts completely. No longer is Pittsburgh seen as a team just trying to keep pace. Instead, they become the aggressor, the team with a weapon that can tilt games in a single snap. Imagine Burrow looking across the field, realizing he's now the second fastest scoring threat in his own division. Picture defensive coordinators in Baltimore who pride themselves on discipline and speed, staying up late at night figuring out how to cover both Pickens and Hill without leaving gaps in the middle. If this rumor turns real, the AFC North could go from balance to pure chaos, where every single matchup becomes a must-watch clash of styles and superstars. The business side of things adds another layer of fascination to this rumor. TYREEK Hill does not come cheap, and his current contract is massive. For Pittsburgh to make this move, it would require either bold restructuring of salaries or some level of financial gymnastics that we aren't used to seeing from a conservative franchise. This is where the whispers get even louder. Insiders suggest that ownership is tired of being just competitive and wants to swing big to reassert the Steelers as a marquee brand in a league dominated by flashy offenses like Kansas City and Miami. Bringing Hill in would not just be about football. It would be about headlines, jersey sales, national relevance, and showing the world that Pittsburgh is not stuck in the past. It raises eyebrows, it raises heart rates, and it raises questions about whether the Rooney family is truly ready to break tradition for the sake of spectacle. Fans are split, but curiosity is at an all-time high. At the heart of all this is the emotional pull it creates for Steelers Nation. Longtime fans who grew up watching hard-nosed football might struggle with the shift, but younger fans who grew up in the highlight reel, fantasy football era are salivating at the thought. Imagine a Sunday night game against the Chiefs. Hill facing his old team, wearing black and gold instead of red and yellow, sprinting past defenders for a game-changing touchdown. Imagine the social media explosion, the memes, the endless debates on First Take and Undisputed. The Steelers have always been relevant, but this rumor alone has made them the center of the NFL conversation in ways they haven't been in years. Whether or not it's true, whether or not it ever materializes, it shows how one name, one player, one possibility can electrify a fan base and shake the entire league. And right now, TYREEK Hill to Pittsburgh is that spark, that impossible dream that suddenly feels just close enough to touch. The ripple effect of TYREEK Hill potentially joining the Steelers would not only impact Pittsburgh, but could redefine how other teams build their rosters. When a speedster like Hill shifts from one conference contender to another, defensive coordinators across the league scramble to adjust. Suddenly, AFC playoff hopefuls must consider spending more draft capital on defensive backs who can at least survive a sprint against Hill. Imagine the ripple reaching even NFC teams, knowing that if Pittsburgh becomes a Super Bowl threat, they may face Hill's blazing speed on the biggest stage. Coaches across the country would start watching film differently, knowing that the Steelers are no longer a ground-and-pound, grinded-out team, but one that can score in seconds. If this move is real, it might force teams to rethink philosophies, prioritize speed over size, and gamble more often on athleticism. That's how big the impact of one player like TYREEK Hill can be. He doesn't just change games, he changes entire eras, entire conversations, entire mindsets. And if Pittsburgh truly has him, then the NFL, as we know it, just got flipped upside down, leaving everyone scrambling to keep up. What makes this rumor so delicious for fans is how unlikely it feels, and yet how believable it has become. At first glance, Hill in a Steelers uniform seems like pure fantasy football talk, the kind of idea cooked up by dreamers who want to see chaos in the league. But then you realize the NFL has been trending toward unexpected blockbuster trades in recent years. Davante Adams leaving Green Bay for Las Vegas shocked people. Russell Wilson leaving Seattle for Denver shook the football world, and Hill himself moving from Kansas City to Miami once felt impossible. So why not again? Why not Pittsburgh? The NFL is no longer the conservative league it once was when star players stayed with one team for most of their careers. Now, mobility and bold trades dominate, and fans crave unpredictability. That's why this rumor has legs. It fits the modern NFL era of shock value and headline-grabbing moves. Whether or not it's real, it perfectly feeds the culture of speculation and excitement that drives the league popularity in the offseason. Hill to Pittsburgh might be wild, but it isn't unthinkable anymore. Consider also the dynamic within the Steelers' locker room if Hill really joins. George Pickens, already a fan favorite, would find himself sharing the spotlight, but also benefiting from the added attention Hill would draw from defenses. Deontay Johnson, often critiqued for inconsistency, could thrive with more space created by Hill stretching the field. Even tight end Pat Freiermuth would suddenly see mismatches against linebackers who can no longer cheat up with Hill looming deep. Najee Harris, who has carried the burden of Pittsburgh's offense at times, might finally run into lighter boxes as defenses hesitate to stack against him. For Kenny Pickett, or whoever is throwing the ball in Pittsburgh, this will be the ultimate test and blessing, having weapons that can make any pass look brilliant. The locker room dynamics would shift, egos would need balancing, but if handled correctly, the Steelers would boast one of the most versatile and dangerous offensive units in the league. The personalities might clash, but the potential for fireworks both on and off the field would keep Pittsburgh in every headline imaginable throughout the season. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Now, let's not ignore the skepticism. There are plenty of voices out there saying this rumor is smoke without fire, that Pittsburgh's conservative ownership would never make such a deal, and that Hill's price tag alone makes it unrealistic. Critics also point out that Pittsburgh's offensive line remains shaky, and adding Hill doesn't solve the problem of giving the quarterback enough time to throw deep. Then there's the question of whether Hill himself would even want to play in Pittsburgh, a city and system so different from Miami's high-octane lifestyle and scheme. But sometimes, skepticism only fuels the excitement, because fans love to dream about what could be, not just what makes sense. The NFL thrives on rumor season, on what-if scenarios, and this one feels perfectly crafted to stir every kind of emotion. Hope, disbelief, joy, anger. Whether it's feasible or not, it has become a storyline, the one people can't stop talking about. And until it's confirmed or denied, the speculation will only grow louder, spreading from whispers to full-on obsession across every Steelers forum and NFL debate show. Imagine the scene if this rumor became reality. The announcement drops, and social media explodes within seconds. Highlight reels of Hill torching defenders in Miami and Kansas City get remixed with black and gold graphics. Jerseys start selling before the press conference even finishes, and analysts scramble to rewrite their preseason predictions. Suddenly, Pittsburgh isn't just another playoff hopeful. They're contenders. Fans flood to training camp just to catch a glimpse of Hill running routes in Steelers gear. Reporters swarm the city, national media camps outside the stadium, and Pittsburgh becomes the epicenter of the football universe. The electricity in the air would be palpable, like when a superstar joins a legendary franchise in any sport. Think LeBron James to the Lakers, Tom Brady to the Buccaneers, moments that redefine legacies. TYREEK Hill in Pittsburgh would be one of those moments, a seismic shift that elevates the team, the city, and the NFL as a whole. It's the kind of move that would be remembered for decades, whether it succeeded or crashed spectacularly. Either way, it would become history. In the end, this rumor embodies everything fans love about the NFL offseason. It's dramatic, it's unpredictable, it's larger than life. TYREEK Hill joining the Pittsburgh Steelers sounds insane on the surface, but the more you imagine it, the more sense it begins to make in a league where bold moves define champions. It's the perfect mix of football logic and fantasy, creating a buzz that keeps fans glued to their screens and debates raging across podcasts and group chats. Whether it's a smokescreen, a misinterpreted whisper, or the beginning of a genuine blockbuster, one thing is certain. It has captured the imagination of the football world. And until the truth comes out, the vision of Hill streaking across the field in black and gold will remain burned into the minds of Steelers Nation and NFL fans everywhere. Sometimes rumors fade, sometimes they ignite revolutions. And this one feels like it has the potential to do both. For now, it's the wildest, most exhilarating storyline in football, and people just can't get enough. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.